Okay. Um, I had moved to South Korea for 2.5 years. I stayed there for 2.5 years. I moved in 2007, and I arrived in Portland in 2001. And my experiences with Portland have been mostly fine, but I've always kind of felt a little isolated and like I don't quite fit in here. But I have felt that way the majority of my life, wherever I am. But it kind of intensified in Portland, so I was like, I'm gonna move to South Korea. So I moved to South Korea. I just graduated, and I moved to South Korea, and I'm teaching English, and it's great. It's like this land that I'm not familiar with, and I meet some really cool people. But once again, I just feel isolated, and South Korea is like 99% South Koreans, so it makes sense. And I'm feeling isolated, and I'm not getting what I thought I would get from kind of moving, from just leaving Portland. And the moment when I knew I had to leave South Korea, where I had to come back to the United States at least, was when I was on the subway and this little baby attempted to eat my arm because he thought I was a chocolate man. Like, and that's not a lie, like that's real. Because his mom was like, I kind of looked at his mom when he was gumming my arm. And this is like a child, okay? It wasn't like a 10-year-old. Just really gumming my arm, going at it, and I was like, what's happening? And she said, he thinks you are cocoa, like made of cocoa. And I was like, okay, cool. And if you think about it, that's messed up because he was trying to kill me then. So I come back to Portland, and I'm struggling. It's like 2010, and I left all my stuff here, so I come back to Portland, and I have friends here. I have somewhat of a community here, but I'm not vibing. I'm not vibing with this city. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're the one who moved here in the first place. You're the one who came back here after moving. Like, what's going on with you? And I really started experiencing some sadness, and I wasn't hanging out with my friends as much as I used to, and they're like, hey man, what's going on? I was just like, I don't know. I just feel so much like the other in this city, and everyone else just seems so happy, especially in the summer. Portland in the summer, you motherfuckers are so happy. Just like, oh, I'm going to the river. It's like, okay, cool, you know what I mean? Like, and I think like Pabst was real huge back then, and everyone was cracking up Pabst like it was dope. And I was like, okay, whatever. That sounded like I was hating, but I'm not, I'm not really hating on you. But, so I had actually made up my mind that I was gonna pack up my stuff and move. I was getting out of here. Portland, I'm done with you. And one day I go to the Hawthorne district. I was living over by kind of the Buckman area. So I go over towards the Hawthorne area, and I'm in those back streets. I'm driving. And I come to a four-way stop. And you know when you just kind of zone out, you're just so familiar with an area. This actually sounds very dangerous, but you're driving, but you're kind of zoned out while you're driving. You don't really know what's happening. And all of a sudden, it kind of clicked in my brain like, man, you've been at this four-way stop for a long time. There's cars. No one's going. So my brain kind of lights up. I look to my right, and there's this woman, this older black woman. She's staring at me. I look forward, and there's this younger black guy, and he's got a big smile on his face, and he's like, and I'm like, okay. I look over there, it's another black guy. And we're just staring at each other. Just 4 black people in the Hawthorne district at a 4-way stop, just taking each other in. None of us are moving. It's just like, okay. That guy's like just still smiling like, yes, yes. And I look back over to the woman and she's crying. She's bawling, like tears. But she's also got a smile on her face. And I was just like, fuck, like that's how real it is, right? A four-way stop, 4 black people brings out this emotion of just like tears of joy. And then I realized, like, in that moment, I was like, okay, I got this. I'm not alone. Thank you.